The king of the 90s, huh? And the king of the 90s and today.
I don't know about all that.
You're still doing it. I'm looking at this list here. I'm looking at your bio, 18 and #1 singles. And I remember you had this thing in the 90s, probably the later 90s, maybe mid to late 90s, where all of your videos were connected. You would jump out of one video, and then you wait for the next video. How many videos did you have connected? Was it 4 of them?
No, we had about 9 of them that were connected. Yeah, there was a bunch. And it started off with If the Good Die Young, which was off my second album, which was Alibis. And we shot that at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And then from there, what was the last one that we did? We went through Front Porch, we went through Tornado, we probably went through 3 or 4 albums, because Cowgirl off of let's see, that was off of Coast is Clear album. Yeah, shoot, man, we went at least through 97 or 98 with those things.
So whose idea was it to do that, A, and B, why did you decide to end it? Was 9 enough, or?
You know, I had wanted to do videos in miniseries form, but the labels back then, to do that, we would need to predetermine what all the singles would have been. And they were all big on research, you know. So you do research and pick out what the first single is going to be, and then you get feedback from the radio stations and all that stuff. You do market research. So we never could do that in the system the way that we were back then. So I said, you know, I think so that was the concept that I came up with, of how we would be able to link videos together, because it didn't matter how we ended one. We just save the close from the last one, jump into the next one, and it allowed us to tie things together, which I thought was very unique. Nobody else was doing anything like that at the time. And it kind of, you know, at the end of the 90s, the head of the label, Rick Blackburn, retired, and they brought a new label head in, and it was basically brought in to close the label down, and then they shut us down, and I moved over to Warner Brothers. So that was pretty much the end of it.
Right. Yeah, almost had no choice.
Yeah.
So when current stars mention your songs in their songs, or mention how much of an influence you were, Time Marches On, for example, has been mentioned in multiple songs. That's got to feel good for you. I mean,
it's pretty cool, man. You know, I was somebody sent me a video clip of the Kelly Clarkson show just a few days ago, and she was doing Alibis on her show.
Wow.
Which was absolutely awesome. So it's flattering to be part of pop culture that goes that deep, that spans that many years. You know, it just tells me, one, that I'm getting freaking old. Other than I'm glad I'm still here, but to know that the body of work that I have is still relevant to a lot of people is really pretty cool.
And is there a more relevant song of all of the songs you've ever done than Front Porch? If we all could, I mean, if that song could be in heavy now,
I'm telling you,
boy, do we need that more than any other song in the world right now.
I would sure like to see that mentality come back, where, you know, people just kind of appreciate each other for who they are, and we could agree to disagree instead of all this drastic division that's going on in the country.
Yeah.
I think we're moving back in that direction. I think we are, slowly but surely. You know, we got to get tired of all this. It's
oh my
exhausting.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, listen, your podcast, let's talk about current day America, Tracy Lawrence. This podcast has become so big. I mean, it's like
quick too.
It's like the new invention of you.
You know, I started this with
Roadhouse.
Ulterior motives, yes, pronouns. And I really wanted to have an opportunity to have better relationships with some of the younger artists that are out there, because we pass each other. They know who I am. I know their name, but I really don't know them. And so it's an opportunity for me to take an hour of my time and sit down and get to know where these kids come from, what their stories are, what their backgrounds, you know, what their motivations are, their songwriting techniques, and all these things, just to kind of get a little bit more in depth about who they are and what makes them tick. And it's building relationships with these young guys that I think is really cool, and I really value that a whole lot.
Yeah, it's called Roadhouse. TL's the Roadhouse.
Yep.
And you can get anywhere where there are podcasts.
We are streaming on all platforms, and so far I've had Hardy on, and Jason Aldean, and Laney Wilson. Jelly Roll is one of my first artists that we released. I'm actually shooting Riley Green this week, and I think that will probably be the last one of the year. We're about to wrap up, so we're on the downhill side of the year.
Well, listen, thanks for everything you've done for us, for country music, for the format. Tracy Lawrence, best of luck in 2023, my friend.
Thank you very much.